Kingpin, known as Wilson Fisk, rules Hell's Kitchen with an iron fist, making life miserable for Daredevil, Spider-Man, Punisher, and even Hawkeye. Basically, wherever a mess is happening, Kingpin's always behind it. He is the deepest, darkest, and supervillain of Daredevil. He started as a Spider-Man villain, but became the main bad guy for Daredevil after Frank Miller got his hands on him in 1981. Daredevil's life is a game of cat and mouse with Kingpin, where Kingpin's always plotting and Daredevil's always messing it up.
You are weak, useless.
You are weak, Willie. Useless.
He's strong. Dude can rip open vaults with one hand, and underneath that big belly is a pile of muscle. He's also insanely smart and controls a criminal empire so powerful it can influence everything from politicians to businesses. Kingpin's been played by Vincent D'Onofrio in the Netflix shows, bringing major intimidation vibes. Before that, Michael Clark Duncan played him in the 2003 Daredevil movie. Either way, this guy doesn't need superpowers, as brains, brawn, and ruthless attitude make him a villain in comic history. Not only Daredevil, but all of us fear as well. Bullseye, as known as Lester, is exactly a human dartboard with zero chill. He's a psycho assassin who can turn anything, even a paperclip, into a deadly weapon. And he doesn't just do this for cash, he loves the pain he causes. He killed Elektra, Daredevil's lover, with her own weapon. He has fought everyone from Spider-Man to Deadpool, and even though he's just a regular guy with no superpowers, his aim and creativity make him one of the deadliest villains. Bullseye's childhood was messed up. Growing up in an abusive home in the Bronx, he quickly realized he was an insane marksman. One time, he even killed a baseball player during a game because he was bored. He worked for criminals like Kingpin and even took on the Punisher, somehow escaping every time. And when Daredevil finally snapped and broke Bullseye's spine, they didn't just leave him to die, his bones got reinforced with adamantium, making him basically indestructible. Despite being killed by Daredevil during the Shadowlands storyline, Bullseye's legacy as a heartless killer is still alive and well in the history of greatest villains.
Now this is entertainment.
Zebediah Killgrave, better known as the Purple Man, is one of the most disturbing villains in the comic universe. Originally a spy from Croatia, Killgrave's life changed after he was exposed to a chemical during a mission, turning his skin and hair purple and giving him the ability to control people's minds through pheromones. Using this power, he began a life of crime, becoming infamous for manipulating others to do his bidding, often against their will.
This doesn't make sense.
I agree.
Purple Man.
It doesn't make sense at all. You've created the perfect world, Tony. People should just sit back and enjoy it.
The Purple Man is best known as Jessica Jones' archenemy. He used his powers to enslave and torment her for months, forcing her to abandon her superhero life. His actions caused lasting trauma, making him one of the most terrifying villains Jessica and the comic world has ever faced. Beyond Jessica, he's also clashed with Daredevil, Luke Cage, Captain Marvel, and even the Avengers. Killgrave's mind control abilities make him a truly terrifying threat. He can force anyone to harm themselves, commit crimes, or carry out his sadistic whims. His powers create a horrifying dynamic where his victims are helpless and not in control of their own actions. Unlike many villains, Killgrave has no remorse and takes pleasure in the suffering he causes, making him one of the most morally offensive characters ever. Stiltman, another villain who first appeared in Daredevil number 8 in 1965, a thief-turned-supervillain, he created a suit of power armor with hydraulic stilts, allowing him to rob skyscrapers and commit crimes from incredible heights. Despite his inventive gear, Stiltman has always been seen as more of a joke in the Marvel Universe due to his awkward gimmick and repeated defeats by heroes like Daredevil, Spider-Man, and even the Punisher. Stiltman's suit gives him some unique abilities, His hydraulic legs let him grow to extreme heights, run fast, and jump hundreds of feet while staying balanced thanks to a built-in gyro. His armor is also treated with a non-stick coating, which makes it hard for heroes like Spider-Man to trap him in their webs. While his tech was impressive in theory, Stiltman often failed in execution, with his stilts becoming more of a liability than an advantage during fights. Although his character is mostly viewed as comedic, there's a certain persistence to Stiltman that can't be denied. He kept showing up to challenge heroes, even when he was clearly outmatched. Some early stories tried to give him a more serious edge, but he never quite fit the darker tone of Daredevil's world. Ironically, his best storylines came outside Daredevil's comics, such as his appearance in Iron Man. The Owl, Leland Owlsley, was once a rich, shady accountant who got caught evading taxes and decided to become a crime lord. He then found a serum that gave him bird powers, and now he can glide like a discount hang glider and hear gossip from 3 blocks away. He had to keep taking the serum or his body would freak out. Naturally, he took on Daredevil. He kept losing and running away, only to get even more ridiculous, like kidnapping a judge for no reason. Daredevil shut that down too, and the Owl fled to San Francisco, where he got wrecked by Black Widow. Then in Chicago, he built a machine to suck brains to make himself smarter. But it didn't work, and he got punked by a cat. His body broke down from all that serum, so he just strapped on a jetpack and robot legs. Majestic. But when Daredevil showed up, his shiny new toys malfunctioned, and the Owl took a dive into the Hudson like a deflating balloon. After that, the Owl teamed up with Stiltman to fight Kingpin, but one of their crew members was a demon. The Owl actually did something useful and saved Spider-Man by tackling the demon into a hell portal. Then, Owl tried to mess with mutant growth hormone using his own DNA, but got caught by Daredevil. And just when he thought he was being all gangster by taunting Kingpin in jail, Daredevil knocked him out for messing with Foggy Nelson's death. The Hand, born in feudal Japan, this group of rebellious folks got tired of being bossed around by samurai, so they ran to the mountains, invented ninjutsu, and started sneaking around like pros. Fast forward to 1588, and boom, the Hand was officially born, serving a demon named the Beast. These ninjas aren't just about killing, they're also into resurrecting people as their zombie ninja minions. Only a few unlucky souls like Elektra and Wolverine have managed to break the brainwashing. Elektra used to work for them, but left after they told her to kill her mentor. Then Daredevil showed up, trying to turn them into the good guys, which didn't really work. He briefly became their boss, but when things got out of hand, Kingpin swooped in and turned them into his personal army. In TV shows, they've been sneaky troublemakers Madame Gao and Nobu in Daredevil and Bakuto in Iron Fist. They're always up to no good, scheming with their 5 big bosses. Mr. Fear, known as Lawrence Cranston, started as a law school buddy of Daredevil. But when he lost to Matt Murdock in a mock trial, he got mad and started thinking, what if Daredevil is actually my enemy? After overhearing the original Mr. Fear spill the beans on his fear gas gear, Cranston took over the role of Mr. Fear like it was a part-time job. He used fear gas to make people hallucinate their worst nightmares. But Daredevil doesn't fear anything. So, when Mr. Fear tried his creepy gas on Matt, Daredevil just sniffed it. Then Daredevil unmasked him, and Cranston tried to bail by jumping off a building. Next, we have the Jester, Jonathan Powers. His first big crime was kidnapping a judge's buddy Foggy Nelson to mess with Daredevil. Big mistake. Daredevil kept stopping him, so the Jester faked his own death, but Daredevil exposed him on live TV. He tried to get back at Daredevil by teaming up with other baddies like Cobra and Mr. Hyde. They lured Daredevil to an amusement park for a showdown, but plot twist, Daredevil won again. Then, the Jester tried to ruin Foggy Nelson's re-election campaign using a crazy invention to fake news, but Daredevil ruined that plan too. Jester even got mind-controlled by Purple Man to fight Daredevil and others. He kidnapped an actor playing Cyrano de Bergerac, took his role, and actually nailed it on live TV. Just when you think he's turning things around, Daredevil outsmarts him again. He got possessed by a demon for some super strength, then got knocked out and left in a coma. Fast forward to Jested, where he teams up with Screwball for pranks, but naturally they get wrecked by Superior Spider-Man. Later, during the Civil War 2 storyline, Jester's chilling in prison, talking about his old crimes, and then he gets shot during a riot. But he shows up alive in Spider-Man 2, still getting defeated by Jessica Jones and She-Hulk. He was a failure, but another great villain we didn't know about. Kirigi is basically the comic world's ultimate ninja bad boy, and he's lived through a lot. This guy might have started out in feudal Japan, where he became a legendary assassin. He was so feared, even ninjas were like, "Don't mess with Kirigi," because he was the great dark villain of Daredevil. His biggest showdown was with Elektra. The Hand, which he worked for, sent him to kill Elektra after they messed up a mission. Kirigi and Elektra fought hardcore. He took a couple of stabs in the chest from her sais, but like any good villain, he didn't go down easily. He pulled out the sais, healed up in an abandoned church, and came back to fight some more. Elektra ran him over with a truck, and he still got up, but in the end, she sliced off his head with his own sword. Deathstalker, whose name is Philip Sterling, is the worst combination of mad scientist and villain. He started out as a genius working for a criminal boss, the organizer who wanted to take over New York City. After his boss got arrested, Sterling decided, why not become a supervillain? So he turned into Deathstalker. Sterling messed around with some crazy tech, a time displacer ray. To be exact, it sent him to a crazy in-between dimension where he got superpowers such as teleporting and going through walls. But I don't think he used these powers for good. Nope. He started going around giving people a death touch with his microwave gloves and became Daredevil's villain. Sterling messed with Daredevil and a few other heroes like Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider before meeting his end in battle with Daredevil. Basically, his villain career was all about trying to kill people in the most shocking, ghostly ways possible, but death still caught up with him. So, tell me your favorite Daredevil villains and hit the subscribe button if you liked this video.